Help! I'm being burgled by these thugs! Oh, I can't call the police. I need my emo anime protagonist that's 6'2" with angel demon powers, and he's hot and he's got scars, but he's sensitive, but he's tough, and he doesn't like to talk about anything, and he's so beautiful, and his eyes glisten in the moonlight, but he's also part of a secret clan that makes him the most powerful of all time. I need him to save me.
Don't worry. My name's Yoshiro. I'm exactly what you described. I was drawn by a 12-year-old girl back in 2015, but I'll be your anime protagonist.
Today, I'm going to be redrawing my very first anime OC. When I hit the age of 12, I don't know what happened, but I suddenly became completely obsessed with anime. I'm talking like I would watch a 300 episode anime from like the 90s in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, anime really influenced my style at the very beginning of my drawing saga. I was heavily influenced by shows like Bleach, Fairy Tail, Maid Summer, Little Witch Academia. Those were like my top animes at this time. I feared that Grave from Fairy Tail had a major impact on how I draw men, specifically back then and nowadays, because I just draw them without any shirts on. I love drawing muscles so much that it's kind of traveled with me ever since this first OC of Yoshiro. I'm sure fellow artists have that one thing that they also constantly draw, whether you just have to give every character you have piercings, or they need to always have a certain wristband on, just something little that you take with you to every art piece you do. It does catch up with you though, because you keep on drawing the same thing again and again and again, and you kind of disregard all of the other things you kind of should be focusing on to better your art. It's like, because I've just drawn shirtless men or muscular like women so often, it's become my default like warm-up practice technique. But in being so confident with one art technique, I then let all the other techniques kind of like take the backseat, such as rendering or liner or coloring. I don't really put as much focus on that as much as I do anatomy in my case. Focusing on the speed drawing now, immediately from looking at the original image, I knew that Yoshiro was a fighter type, that he was meant to be highly skilled, and he had some weird lore backstory of being like a nice guy, but he's also really edgy and he's emo. That's clearly what I was going for. So I wanted to basically translate that into this new version of himself. I was really thinking, what are the edgiest things that I could add to this without actually taking away from the original piece, because I didn't really want to add too much on. My first thought, bandages, bandages, bandages. That is how you tell a character is emo and edgy. They need to have bandages on. Then they also need to have a scar, because the original image didn't have a scar, and I was so surprised, because if I want to make a character seem cool, I put a scar everywhere. There's a scar with like a deep meaning everywhere on every single character I do. I didn't delve too much into the character designing aspect of like art in this piece. I was purely just redrawing something in a way I thought my younger self would have liked to see it. So I gave him really cool belt buckles and like chains and, 2 belts, because, one's just not cool enough. And his hairstyle, I wanted to make it outlandish. Like, he had to be the main character. He had to be interesting. And clearly, I was trying to achieve that in my original drawing from 10 years ago, by the way. Isn't this insane? 10 whole years. Time literally goes so fast. But yeah, for the hair, I just knew I had to make it stand out. And then when we get to coloring later on, I made sure to pick a color which stands out as like the main character's hair color, just so everyone can tell this is the main character, Yoshiro. I would say my art journey has come a very, very long way in the past 10 years. I learned how to do animation, I did learn how to render, I fixed my anatomy, and I know how to draw like so many different things that clearly I didn't know how to draw all those years ago. But I guess like every skill, there's always improvement to come, because you look at someone who's drawn for 15 years, and you're like, wow, their work's amazing. But you give them another 10 years and their work's even better. Art's one of those things where you think you've reached your peak, but you really haven't, because there's just so much more that you can learn in your entire lifetime. I first started drawing when I was about 9 years old, and it was purely to try and beat one of my childhood best friends in a drawing competition. There was no other reasoning. He was just so competitive that it used to piss me off, and I get so mad. I'm like, no, I can do better than him. I'm gonna be better than him. So I started drawing out of anger and like revenge, which is really, it's actually like a really good fuel, because I would go home, just draw day in, day out, because I wanted to get better than him. In the end, I realized, wait a minute, I actually really like drawing. This is kind of fun. Let me just do it without wanting to be better than someone else. We started off with drawing Dragon Ball Z characters' heads, and that was literally it. And then we moved on to drawing dragons and Shrek OCs. Oh my gosh, I need to find them. I don't know if they're on like a loose piece of paper and now it's somewhere like in the attic, but they were interesting. I used to religiously study those how to draw anime and manga books because they were so good. Honestly, I actually want to buy one and just do a video completely about me going through and just testing one of their tutorials. If you guys would like to see that, tell me in the comments below or whatever. But yeah, art was something that actually grew on me as time went by. I truly had it as a hobby. I never thought of it to be career worthy, basically, because you are told throughout your life that art's not a good career path, that it's bad, and that you should become a doctor. That's what my parents said, that become a doctor. And I do understand why parents say that, because the art industry truly is brutal and it's very hard to get into. It can also be quite disheartening to put so many years, so much passion into a single skill and not really be in the spot you thought you would be in after, let's say, you get a degree, or you feel like you're at a skill level that you should be working at. My advice for younger people that want to actually go into art and pursue it, whether that's in graphic design, animation, storyboarding, just have passion and keep your passion with you, because as soon as you lose it for, let's say, you don't get a job straight away or you don't see a future in it, as soon as you lose that passion, it becomes increasingly harder to bring yourself back up and really enjoy the art that you're putting out and what you do. Just like many things in life, if you no longer have that hunger, that passion, that drive for it, you're going to become uninterested. You're not going to want to do anything related to the thing anymore. So please try not to burn yourself out, guys, and keep passionate about your projects. One thing I really like about redrawing characters is seeing the improvement over the years. It's just really satisfying to me. It's like those soap cutting videos or those wax melts that like they press into your hand. It just feels really like nice to see the changes. Oh yeah, I want to give you guys a warning. Coloring, I make it up as I go along. I really wanted this video to be somewhat informational in terms of how to draw, how to do this, how to do that. But as I was rendering this piece, I really realized I'm just throwing stuff down. I'm just putting a color here, a color there, seeing what works. I'm still learning color theory. I'm still learning all those things. So I actually don't think it's appropriate for me to even tell you what I'm doing. As you'll see later on when I start properly rendering, I truly am just throwing stuff down. I'm doing methods that I don't even know how they work, to be honest with you. I actually struggled from main character syndrome in frickin' secondary school because I truly believed that no one else watched anime. I thought I was like the only person that watched it. And one day I was in the changing rooms and these girls were like, oh, I've watched Attack on Titan. And I was like, what? You know what Attack on Titan is? And they were like, yeah, we watched this. I just started fangirling with them because I was like, damn, there's actually people I can relate to right now. The other reason might just be that whenever I like tried to bring it up at home or like spoke to my mom and she'd be like, what are you watching? I'm like, oh, I'm watching this like anime where this guy is a soul reaper and he stakes all their souls and he kills everyone, la 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 la. She's like, oh, okay. She just wasn't interested like at all in what I had to say. And first of all, to this day, okay, my mom still kind of doesn't even know what I studied at university. She calls it amine, like amine instead of anime. She's like, oh, you did amine kind of stuff, right? And I was like, no, mom, I did animation, 2D, Western cartoons, blah, blah, blah. It can be anything. She's like, yeah, drawing, all the same. My mum does not care about the arts at all. Little Witch Academia was actually the very first anime I watched. And to this day, it actually has me in a chokehold. I look at clips of it or clips come up on my like TikTok or something. I'm like, wow, this really takes me back. I just start reminiscing because I watched the movies and then obviously that series came out in like 2017 and I was just like, wow, this is like the best thing ever. Anime is so cool. You know, that community is still thriving. I did some fan art like ages ago and I was like, oh, no one's gonna see it because it's Little Witch Academia. No one watches that anymore. It's like not popular. I do have to say my art process is very non-linear. I will basically do a sketch, do line art, put some base colors, and then in between rendering I'm like, oh no, I actually want to change that thing, let me go back and change it, or let me go and change this one thing, or actually I'm just gonna render this one thing for 30 minutes and disregard everything else I've just done. Oh, let me change this thing, let me change that. Basically, I just don't have a very consistent way of drawing, at least right now. I will say that when I draw in a super cartoonish style, I do follow a lot more steps and a lot more rules than if I were to do something like this or something semi-realistic, something with human proportions, just because the like intense characterization that a cartoon has, you can very easily mess it up. It can very easily look out of place, it can look wrong. Whereas when I draw more realistically, I find that it's a bit more forgiving in terms of if you've done a limb too long or you've made a face shape too wide or just something different, because below realism is semi-realism, so you're kind of merging into that. Whether or not that makes sense, I'm not too sure, but I really hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. One of my favorite art exercises is the shape exercise. So you just get random shapes and you need to make characters out of them. That was so fun to do, and I also recommend it for beginner artists just because it challenges your imagination, it makes you think outside of the box, and overall it's just really good for like identifying what shapes actually work well when it does come to character design. Checking back in on the drawing, this rendering was so boring. Oh my gosh, that rhymes. What the hell? As you can tell, I don't render very often. It's something that I find kind of boring. I'll do it, you know, because I want to color in my images, but it's not my favorite thing. Every artist has their favorite step of the drawing process, and I'll say that mine is definitely line arting stage. There's just something so satisfying about seeing a sketch become clean, if that makes any sense. But yeah, in this final section of the speed draw, I'm just going back and forth with all the different colors, specifically the red and the blues, because those colors, they harmonize together or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but they look nice. So if you have a red image or something, putting a little bit of blue in it just kind of adds to the depth of the image, you know? This was actually a really, really fun drawing challenge, just redrawing my art. I'm definitely going to be going through a lot more of my old stuff and just doing it all over again, because it also brings back, you know, the memories of like who I was when I used to draw it, and it's also nice seeing the comparison between the two drawings as well. There's just not really much else to say about this drawing. I wanted to draw an anime guy that I know my younger self would have liked to see in a TV show, and also what I was probably trying to draw when I was that age, but did not execute it very good. Yoshiro will now be embedded for years to come as a beloved OC of mine. I didn't really go into any lore because I just don't know what to do with this guy. He's just edgy and emo. Can that just be his lore? He's just really edgy. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as per usual and sticking around. And if anyone actually stuck through my ramblings, okay, I'm actually very, very grateful and very impressed. I will see you all in another video very soon. Thank you for watching.
Bye.